First, I want to give honor to God who chose me to be a part of this 12-step process. Then I want to thank all of you for sitting here after y'all ate y'all chicken and y'all banana pudding, because I know everybody really wanted to go home and take a nap. For those who care to, would you pray with me the serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The angels in heaven sign my name. That's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm standing here now, because some angels in the heaven saw me standing on a corner in July 1993. And instead of them just, going over to their little spot in heaven and praying about it, they went to God and say, I think it's her turn. My sobriety date is July 25th of 1993. My date of surrender is July 24th of 1993. But I couldn't claim that because I had drank that day. July 26th of 1993, I'm standing in the county jail in a courtroom, and they are arraigning me. July 27th of 1993 is my birthday. I didn't know then what I know now. But each moment, each day, from the time I called out to God, He was moving me so that I could stand here. Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Harlot Anonymous. I qualify for everything. My name is DeBoer, and before I'm an alcoholic and an addict, I'm a liar, a cheat, a thief, and a manipulator, and a whore. Then I'm an alcoholic, and then I'm an addict. And the reason it goes like that for me is because 90% of what I did before I started drinking. Some of us are in this room because we drank and we did some things, or we used and then we did some things. I did some things, and then I drank and I drugged to try to forget about them things that I had did. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and cocaine, and that our lives had become unmanageable. Y'all can look at me and tell I ain't powerless, right? I couldn't wrap my mind around that when y'all was you weak people, y'all old, y'all ain't got no wives, y'all ain't got no husbands. Y'all need to be sitting in the room drinking coffee and eating donuts with people you don't know. I couldn't wrap my mind around powerless. And unmanageability, although I know a lot of words and the definition for a lot of words, an English major, I could not wrap my mind around unmanageability because I never had anything to manage. I'm spoiled rotten. I'm the youngest. And as I got older, guess what? The people that spoiled me got older too, so I'm still the baby. Powerless meant weak. Powerless meant lame. Powerless meant square. I ain't none of that. I grew up in a time pimps, players, hoes, hustlers, and you just couldn't. The first bit of power I ever received is when I admitted before God and a whole bunch of people just like you that my life was unmanageable. And it wasn't so much that I couldn't drink, I just didn't want to. I like alcohol, I like the taste of it, but I didn't like the consequences. At that point, when I admitted that, I got the power of choice. If I'd have drank 10 minutes later, if I'd have used 10 minutes later, it would have been because I chose to. I do the same thing, I go to the hospital, I don't feel good 2-3 days. I finally get up and go to the emergency room. They check me out, they give me some medication, they give me a prescription, they tell me to go to the pharmacy. If I don't take that medicine, I made a clear choice to be sick for however many more days that illness is upon me. I choose today not to drink. I choose today not to use any drugs. I was in the hospital, and I had major surgery. So, you know, they give you that little thingy that they attach to you. You got to push that button. I wouldn't push the button. I had 42 staples from here to here, and I couldn't push the button. I was scared because I had heard people, you know, that had cancer and had this, and, you know, they ended up getting high. And I don't want to get high. You know, I'm 15, 16 years. I don't want to get high. You know, so I'm scared to push the button. I'm dying. I'm in so much pain. I can't breathe. And then the Holy Spirit fell upon me and said, you're going to be all right. I took that medication. I pushed that button, you know, every 5 or 6 hours for 3 days. Day 3, and it's something about day 3. Day 3, the Holy Spirit fell upon me again and said it don't hurt that bad. Because, see, I woke up to get that medication, but I wasn't in pain. I came this close to hitting the button, but I didn't. Powerless. We have the power of choice today. If you're sitting in here, you can choose whether or not you want to use or you want to give it one more day. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. Okay, so you can tell from my step 1, ain't no power greater than me. I ain't crazy, because crazy people wear 4 coats in July and no coat in January. So I don't know who y'all think y'all talking about is inside. I skipped over came to believe. That's all I had to do, was come to believe that it was going to be something that was going to stop me from getting in and out of cars, sleeping in an abandoned apartment building, leaving my sons. Well, at this point, my mother has taken my sons all the way to Hawaii so they won't see me standing on corners in Cleveland. All I had to do was come to believe that there was a way out. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God and understood Him. I grew up in the church. Grandparents were elders, great-grandparents were pastors, you know, the whole nine. I ain't know the word. I had read what God said. God as we understood Him, that tickled me. You know, His ways are not our ways, His thoughts are not our thoughts, who understands God. Because see, I'm at the end of the step. I got to rationalize and justify. I got to fix this because I don't want to be here. Alcohol is my friend. Alcohol makes me believe that you like me. Because see, you can't like me. How do you like or love somebody that don't like or love themselves? I do not care how much you gave me, what you did for me, how much you told me you love me. You can't. That's impossible because I do not like or love myself. I make a decision. On July 24th of 1993, I've been throwing up blood for 3 days. And I sit down on a flower bed, and my intention is to sit down and hold my head down. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. Close your eyes, count to 10. That feeling of nausea and having to faint passes over. But when I put my head down, I called on my great-grandmother's God. Because see, the God that I kind of like remember from Catholic school, there was some weeping and some gnashing and some burning and some hell. So I can't call him. We're going to call Grandma's God. Grandma said He would never leave nor forsake me. Now, I did not believe that, but I had nowhere else to look. So I called Him and He came. Actually, I called Him and He said, because He was right there. He sent the police. My original charge was drunken disorderly conduct and assaulting a police officer because they were not going to take me to jail. Once again, they were going to give me what we used to call a station house ticket for prostitution. They give you a ticket and tell you to come to court in 72 hours. Well, I'm a hoe. In 72 hours, I'm going to be somewhere high, drunk, turning a trig, sleeping in an abandoned apartment building. Excuse me, not sleeping. Passing out and then coming to. So my original charge, I had to fight these police officers or I would not have went to jail. I didn't realize till almost a year later, after I'm listening to some people, I'm in another fellowship and And I'm listening to some people, and she been sober, 9 months, and she just now on step 9, and I'm looking at her like, okay, well, because I did 1, 2, 3 in probably less than 6 minutes. I admitted I was powerless, that my life was unmanageable. God, I'm going crazy. I'm going to die. Come get me now. That's 2 and 3 put together. I had nowhere else to go. I had nowhere else to look but up. And I honestly believe that God allowed me to get to that corner because he knew that that was going to be my breaking point. Had I attempted to do it any earlier, I wouldn't be standing here today. I just shared with some people out front. Had I known that he had relieved me of the obsession and the compulsion to use on that day, I probably wouldn't be standing here now, because I'd have thought I had did something, because I know how to do something. And I would have did that. Make a decision. Come to believe and admit. That's it backwards. Because see, I didn't think I was powerless until I made the decision that I didn't want to live like that no more. That I just could not take another step. And I was not broke. I had money in my pocket. I had dope in my sock. And I had a bottle of wine. But it was over. No more. I go to jail. After I'm in jail, it kind of hit me that I got all these warrants and all these open cases. And okay, now I'm not so sure that I want to be here. The reality is that I didn't want to be there. So over in the corner, in the city jail, the county jail, they got the little card, and it's got God in every language you can think of, and I zero in on a big book, because I had been on tour. I came around Alcoholics Anonymous in June of 1990 and stayed till February of 1992, thoroughly convinced that y'all needed some help. So I know what the big book looked like. I give me a big book, I give me a Bible, and guess what I do? I start working my steps. I start reading God's word, and stuff started coming to me that I had forgot I even knew. And I'm going through the steps. By the time I go to court, they indict me day 89. I go to court in October 26th, as a matter of fact, in 1993. And I'm looking at 22 years. And I have no plea. The judge is just talking, and I'm just standing there. And he starts to sentencing me, and I pass out. Because I hear 2 to 10, 2 to 10, 2 to 10, 3 to 10, 4 to 15. Actually, that last 2 to 10, that 3 to 10 and the 4 to 15 I didn't hear because I had passed out. I got 1 year probation in lieu of treatment. That was God. When I look back, you could almost smell God in the air. Because, it's all of this noise and everybody coming from the county and we laughing and talking because we don't get to see each other, and I can't move. Because I know I'm going to jail. You know what I did? Your will, God. I'm sitting in that bullpen and I'm screaming inside my heart. I do not want to sleep in another abandoned apartment building. Whatever you say, God, I'm good. And he saw fit to send me home. And that's, for me, is when it really began. By the time I got the treatment in November of 1993, I was on step 4. And my first step 4, when I was on tour, had all y'all name on it. I don't know none of y'all, but your name was on there because you know somebody that knows somebody that knew somebody else. And you look like, everybody was on it. My first step didn't have me in it at all, except for the fact that I was mad at you. Now here go the first line. I don't hold resentment. I just don't. When I was in the world, I didn't have time. Because if I'm mad at you and you driving, who going to the liquor store? We can fight when we get back. I hate you. You driving. You got gas money? Come on, let's go. That's my extent of the resentment. On top of the fact that I needed you to be my friend. And if I'm mad at you, that means you're not going to be my friend. fourth step. After having sat in jail and was, the impending doom and looking at all of that, resentments, fears, sexual conduct, and harming others. I did something that I didn't do before, and that was I prayed. Because see, God hearing me. Now, I know that he hears me. He came and got me off the corner. He sat me down. He let me gain some weight. Eat, the bologna sandwiches, they not healthy, but every once in a while they gave you a carrot or something, And now I'm on my way to treatment. So I know there's a God, and I know that he hears me. So what I'm going to do when I start writing down these names, you putting them in them, getting them columns together, I'm going to pray. And the long story short, my fourth step didn't have nobody's name on it but mine. The one or two people that could have legitimately been on my fourth step, I took them off because their reaction was an act, something to what I had done. Was an action to what I had, reaction to what I had done. You mad at me because I had your mama house broke into, and I'm mad at you because you mad at me? Do that make sense? Because see, that was the extent of my resentment. I didn't have nothing else to be mad at nobody about. Because remember, I don't like me. Nothing is above. You can't dislike me more than I dislike myself. Ergo, resentment out the door. Fear. I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of nobody. That's that gangster. The reality is I'm only afraid of me because you couldn't have did to me what I did to me. You couldn't have. I'd have called my brother, my cousin. I'd have called them thugs down the way. Somebody would have took care of you if you'd have attempted to hurt me like I hurt me. It was me that did all of that. I'm afraid of me. Harming others. It sounds crazy, but when I thought about it, it hurt me the most. Because now I'm not drinking and now I'm not drugging and I'm sitting in this place and I'm thinking about my mom and dad. I'm thinking about my sons. I'm thinking about my siblings and my real friends. It hurt me real bad that I had to hurt them so I could end up here. So at the top of the harming others, the harmless is me again. My mother, like I said, took my sons to Hawaii. And while she was there, she had a stroke. I'm getting money all the time. And I got money in the credit union. But every time I step out the door, some more money pull up. So I got all this money in the credit union. And when it was time for my brother and sister-in-law to fly down to Hawaii to get my mommy, guess whose account they went in? I used to brag about, how I got out in the streets and how I had this money over here. But that was what the devil meant for naught, God turned into good. He let my horrible state of life, my horrible state of being, be a blessing for my family when it was time to bring mommy back home to Hawaii, to Ohio. My sexual conduct. I refuse to talk about it to anybody, anywhere. Female, priest, pastor, didn't want to discuss it. Wasn't none of your business. I had some people tell me one time at a meeting that there are certain things that I should not share openly in a meeting about my lifestyle and how I was living. And my comment was, I didn't trick with no female. How they supposed to know? How are they supposed to know how broken I was when they went to the ATM and pulled up on me and gave me their money so they could do something? They need to know, they sitting in here, y'all sitting in here, y'all hurting. Y'all need to know how bad I hurt. Because just maybe if you know how bad we hurt, you won't go back out and hurt somebody else. Because it don't get better. I didn't do it because I wanted to. I did it because I had to. Now, in the beginning, I couldn't understand how sex was supposed to be free. You want me to do what? I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I just can't. I need another drink. I need a pair of shoes. You got some sense. My light bill due. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. And then I realized that was the enemy. That was the enemy. Because I was attempting to sell what God had given me as a gift. And that's impossible. The reality is, if you gave me $1,000, it was still short. Because today I know I'm a treasure. But the enemy and my disease wouldn't let me see that. Step 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrong. Now watch this. I ain't telling God nothing. I know the word, I done read it, and now I done got a little back into it, because I've been reading, that Gideon that somebody stole from the hotel and brought to jail. Okay. So I'm reading that, but the word is still the same. Genesis, stolen or not, is still the same word. And it says that he would take my sins and place them as far away from the east as it is from the west, never to remember them anymore. So why am I about to bring up something to God that he done forgot? I just ain't gonna be able to do that. That don't make sense to me. Because he may remember that, I was supposed to cast you down the last time you did that. And I'm in trouble. Being honest with other people was not a problem for me. And that was me being selfish, me thinking I was somebody that I wasn't, me being arrogant, because who are you that you think I should lie to you? Okay, so a lot of times I tasted blood, got beat up, pushed down the steps, thrown off the porch, because I wouldn't shut up. I have learned to just shut up, but back then I just couldn't, because I needed to pretend like I was somebody, so if I had you down here, that puts me up here, and that means I'm somebody. Admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Now, I done wrote down in step 4 all that I can remember. But when your heart is open, when your soul is open to want to change, some things come up that I hadn't wrote down. And I don't want to be her no more. 6 and 7, we're entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. Humbly ask him to remove these shortcomings. I sat down thinking that I was not going to drink anymore. I wasn't going to drug anymore. But I didn't know the inside of me needed to change for that to be coming to fruition. So I done did this 4th step, and I done did this 5th step, and now I don't want to be her no more. God, if it's possible, change my hair, my skin color, my nationality, the way I walk, the way I talk, change everything, Lord, because I don't want to be her. I don't even want to be associated with her anymore. I was entirely ready to have God remove everything that made me walk like, talk like, act like that girl I had to write about and then talk about. I'm her. I'm good. When I first came around, shortcomings. I ain't got no shortcomings. What's wrong with y'all? What you talking about? You got problems? I ain't got no problem. Shortcomings. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what my defects of character were. But whatever it is, God get rid of it. And I'm standing here today because he did that. It would be theoretically impossible for me to still be who I was and be standing here today. I just can't. People say, I'm mean, I'm arrogant, she thinks she cute, she thinks she all that. She just talked to people any kind of way. And that used to offend me until I was like, oh, they right. Because I do think I'm somebody today. No, that's not right. I know that I'm somebody today. I'm not mean. I'm not arrogant. I'm not selfish. I am spoiled. And all that. It's contingent upon how you receive what I say to you. If you receive it in a positive manner, then I'm not mean, I'm not arrogant, but you got an attitude and you just don't want to hear what I say. It probably did come out right. It ain't gonna never come out wrong. It just don't. That was me standing on that corner, July 24th of 1993, on the corner of 59th and Quincy, dying. I ain't got time to be playing with you. This is my life. I was sharing with a young lady about, a newcomer, most important person. I finally figured out that I'm the most important person. Because if I don't do me, I can't do you. Ergo, I'm going to end up on that corner again and it just ain't happening. I don't have time to listen to you whine and cry about why you couldn't write, about why you couldn't read, about why you ain't call me. Boo-boo, deuces. That's my reaction. I got mine. You know, it sounds selfish. It sounds stank, don't it? What do it say in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous? Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Watch me as I go this way. Because I just don't have time. You know, 8 and 9, you know, made a list. I ain't got no list. I couldn't have made an amends to them, no way. What I'm going to say, Mommy, I'll be right back. You know how many times I say it? Mommy, I'll be right back. My youngest son is incarcerated, and, you know, in the first year or so, every time I would ask him, you know, what was going on or whatever, he would say, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. He said that to me one day, and I just screamed at the top of my lungs. Because I'm good don't mean I'm good. I'm standing on the corner of 55th and Quincy, and there's a payphone right there. And it's like 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, but I got on 12 o'clock in the afternoon outfit. It's then got a little chilly. This Cleveland, you know you can be July and December in the same day. And I'm on this payphone and I'm talking to my dad. And he want to come get me and I won't let him come get me. And I keep telling him I'm good. And when I hung up that phone, I hit my knees and screamed as loud as I could. For me, I'm good means I'm mucked up, but I can't tell you that I am. That's my step 8. My step 8 is me standing here 24 years later. I couldn't tell them, Mommy, I'm not going to get high. Baby, I'll be right back. I promise you I'm going to work. This is my 8 and my 9. And I'll say that because in 9, you know, make direct amends to such persons wherever possible, except for when to do so would injure them or others. Well, I meant to do that. So if I apologize for something I meant to do, don't that make it a lie? I meant to do that. There are 1 or 2 things that happen as a result or a consequence of something I put into motion, but the reality is I meant to do that. God will put people in your path. God put people in my path that I knew in my spirit I should say I apologize to. But when I walked up on them, they knew I wasn't hurt anymore. And a lot of them would be like, D, you good. I'm, you know, love you, hug you. You know, I saw a dope boy, and when he realized it was me, he actually fell to his knees in tears. He said, Didi, I thought you was dead. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you a dope man. Why would you even care whether or not I was dead or alive? Even then, there was something inside of me that God knew was one day was going to come forth. 10, continue to take a personal inventory, and when wrong, promptly admit it. Continue, that's all the time. Personal, that's me. Prompt, that's right now. You know, you cuss somebody out at 6:30 in the morning, and at 11 o'clock at night, you, really? It took you that long? I can't do that. That don't sit well with me. And a lot of times situations happen where I can't apologize right away. You know, or, you know, the person be done walked away, and I don't accidentally cuss nobody out. I kind of know it's coming, you know, and if I continue to stand there, it's going to come out. Gee, I'm sorry, you know, but even if you're wrong, I got to check me, because guess who got to live with me? This joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. I can't let you have that. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away. And I may say a few words that have not yet been placed between Genesis and Revelation. You know what? It just is what it is, you know. And I'm not going to make the excuse that I'm an addict, that I'm an alcoholic, because if that was the reason, then I should be drunk. I ain't had a drink or a drug in 24 years. Being an alcoholic or an addict is not an excuse for my attitude. Now, my thinking, that's not an excuse, that's a reality. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him. Praying for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Step one said I ain't had no power, that I'm powerless. I got to admit to y'all that I am powerless, to myself, to God, and to you, that I'm powerless. Step 11 said I got power. Because see, they were convinced that if you did 1 through 10 as suggested, when I got here, they wasn't suggesting nothing. I'm like him. They would sit down, shut up, be still. You don't know nothing. That if I did that, by the time I got to step 11, it's theoretically impossible for you not to have some sort of relationship with some type of higher power. Some things in your life can change. You may have the same shoes, but you walking a little different. You may have the same smile and the same voice, but there are some words that have changed that are coming out of your mouth. Prayer and meditation, me talking to God, me listening to God. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics, addicts, and to practice these principles in all our affairs. There's a word missing out of that step 12. It don't say another alcoholic or addict. It don't say other alcoholic addicts. Because they thoroughly convinced you do 1 through 10, you got a relationship in 11 with a God of your understanding. Step 12, you may have some problems. The book tells you to seek outside help. Alcohol or your drug of choice is not your problem anymore. We have been relieved of a seemingly hopeless state of mind. We have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind. I'm done. I'm good. By the time I get to step 12, I really ain't got to come through the door of another meeting because I have been relieved. I show up because of defects of character and shortcomings that I can't take care of my own. If I could do that, I wouldn't need y'all, but I need y'all. I need you to remind me every day when there's a new person coming through the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous or Cocaine Anonymous, it's a reminder that damn, my home is still in the middle of that street. And if I go out there, I'm going to fall in. I am blessed beyond measure. Counted among the elect to be a member of this process. It saves me every day. And like I share all the time, my God didn't save me for me. I could have been like Elijah in the Old Testament, been caught up in the whirlwind and never tasted death. He saved me so I could tell somebody else that Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, and Narcotics Anonymous, it works. It really does work. I'm a liar, a cheat, a thief, a manipulator, a whore, a drunk, and an addict in that other life. In this life, I'm an ordained minister. I'm a wife, a church clerk. I'm in the choir. I am the interim volunteer coordinator down in Luther Metropolitan Ministry. I'm a grandmother, great-grandmother. And just for the day, I'm sober.